Ethan Nwaneri. Remember this kid's name. Remember this kid's name. Home debut, 2 goals, a goal and an assist for Sterling, a goal for Havertz, and a goal for Declan Rice, in which was a professional performance in the League Cup. And I felt Arsenal needed a performance like this. I think they needed to give someone a bit of a thumping, and you would expect Arsenal to give Bolton a bit of a thumping, but they made a lot of changes today. There was no Saliba, there was no Gabriel. There was a lot of academy talent on display. Nicholas, Nwaneri, Skelly. And, they gave, which I thought was confidence boosts, the likes of Gabriel Jesus and Raheem Sterling. Make sure you go down, drop a like if you haven't already. Some videos hitting over 1,000 likes, which is genuinely obscene. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. We're less than 1,000 away from 25k. My Liverpool-West Ham match reaction will be out first thing in the morning or the afternoon, so make sure you check that out. And let me know your thoughts down below. But in terms of Arsenal's team today, 16-year-old goalkeeper in goal because of, I believe it was reported by Fabrizio Romano that there isn't any, could be an injury to Ray, it could be them just resting him. And I don't know if Neto was completely fully fit. So they gave Porter a debut. You got Nicholas, an academy player. Luis Skelly, an academy player. Kivior played at left-sided centre-back. And, of course, Ethan Nwaneri, their new star boy in a midfield with Jorginho and Rice, Saka, Jesus and Sterling. I wasn't too sure why he played Saka. I thought he would want to give him a rest, maybe because he come off at half-time against Manchester City and wanted to give him some minutes. And, it was a fairly strong start from Arsenal. I thought they'd, go and score 3 or 4 goals comfortably today. And then within 15 minutes, Declan Rice makes it 1-0 with a good strike. And then ever since then, it was basically one-sided. It was cruise control. Nwaneri gets his first goal in an Arsenal shirt. I think it was 35th minute. An assist for Raheem Sterling. And then it's half-time, and I'm thinking, right, this is where you should really... I would have probably brought Saka off at half-time if I was managing this game. And then Nwaneri gets a second, an assist from Declan Rice. And then when you talk about composure, when you talk about potential in a player, that is exactly what Nwaneri looks. He looks a real talent. And it's interesting as well because Tottenham have got a player coming out of their academy by the name of Mikey Moore. And I don't think it'll be long before the media speak about the 2 rising stars coming out of North London. Both obviously play for England together. Both play in similar positions. Both can play out wide and in a 10. And I think that'll be an interesting story to follow both of these players' journeys. Now, of course, the League Cup draw is later on tonight. So that's going to be extremely interesting to see who they get. I have a feeling Arsenal will actually get Spurs, or Spurs will get Arsenal, depending on which fixture it's at. Shortly after that, Bolton get a corner from Aaron Collins. Poor defensive work there. And then they made a couple of changes. Kai Havertz come on. Gabriel Magalhaes come on. Raheem Sterling then got off the 4th goal. But gave him a huge bit of confidence, that for me. I think he needed that. A lot of question marks over his move to Arsenal. Good bit of financial business for Arsenal. No loan fee. And, of course, covering only 50% of his wages. He gets on the score sheet. And then off the bench, Kai Havertz makes it 5-1. And it was a professional performance. I feel like they've been getting quite a number of pelters in the media from this or that. But tonight they go out there, Ethan Nwaneri, the spotlight will be him. And now they look forward to Saturday, which will be Leicester. And then, of course, shortly after that, PSG. And then I believe, is it one more game? Then it's the international break. I can't remember who they've got off the top of my head. But professional performance, you look at our game, we struggled against Coventry. Chelsea had a really good performance against, of course, was it Barrow they played yesterday. Liverpool are absolutely spanking West Ham 5-1. Man United put a professional performance in against Barnsley 7-0. So, and of course, City played yesterday and they won 2-1. So there's a lot of, Tottenham got over the line. If Man City, if that barge on the City defender was given yesterday, or wasn't given, sorry, they may have come out of that with a different result. And the League Cup, you never really know how it's going to go because it's a cup competition. We've seen huge, big upsets. You think of, the FA Cup, Coventry getting all the way through to the semi-final and dragging it back from 3-0 down. You think of Wigan beating City all those years ago. You think of Birmingham getting a result against Arsenal all those years ago. So it's a professional performance from Arsenal. And it's good that they've given game time to Nwaneri. One thing I've been very critical on Ange Postecoglou is at times I don't think he's given game time to, the likes of Wall Lancashire, the likes of Mikey Moore, Jamie Donnelly, although he's gone out on loan. I've been very critical. So fair play to Arteta because he relied on a lot of kids. Yes, they should be beating, a team in League One that, to be honest, are struggling in League One. However, it's a professional performance. If you look at the Aston Villa game last night, 2-1 is not a comfortable scoreline. They're away at Wickham. And of course, Duran come off the bench and done it once again. But it's 5 goals. It should be a bit of a confidence booster, professional performance going into the weekend, in which I expect Arsenal to, of course, go out there and put, 3 or 4 goals past this Leicester side, playing at home. And if they can win their next 2 games, I think they will. A lot of people at the moment are saying, oh, you can only play one style, you can only play defensive. I don't really buy into that. I think they can, of course, play different styles. We've seen that under Mikel Arteta. And of course, tonight, 5 goals. I don't really think you can ask for more. They'll probably be disappointed they didn't keep the clean sheet. It kind of is what it is, but he was prepared to give game time. Kabia come off the bench, another youngster. I think he's only 18 as well. And he was prepared to put a 16-year-old in goal. Jack Porter, which I believe he's only just turned 16 as well, which is just incredible. Joshua Nicholas, 18. You think Nwaneri, 17. He's relying on the youth. I don't mind that in a manager, as long as when you get to the latter stages, you start playing, a lot of your more experienced players. But, you look across other games right now, Man United are at present, I think they've just drawn to FC20. Liverpool have put 5 past West Ham. And now that makes, what is that? I think Arsenal are yet to taste a defeat so far. They've beaten Bolton, they've beaten Spurs, they've beaten Villa, they've drawn with City, they've drawn with Atalanta, they've got a draw with Brighton. So, so far for Arsenal, I think that's 7 games unbeaten. I look at their fixtures they've got coming up with Leicester, PSG, Southampton, Bournemouth, Shakhtar, Liverpool. We're really going to see what Arsenal have made for when you look at these results they've got coming up. I think you may see Nwaneri even feature in some of these games. Fixture. I mean, look at the dates: 28th, 1st, 5th international break, where Saka and Rice, Saliba, Gabriel, and all these players will go and play for their respective nations. Then they come back. Bournemouth 3 days later at home to Shakhtar. 5 days later, Liverpool. And then we're really going to see the mentality of this Arsenal side. Newcastle United away, Inter Milan away, Chelsea away. I mean, they're not exactly. I know the fixtures aren't planned out to kind of screw Arsenal over, but 4 away games in 5 games. When you look at Sporting, who have got Victor Gyökeres, very top striker. I mean, it's not an easy run of games, but they've got more than enough quality to go out there and, of course, get the right result. And I personally think right now Arsenal are in a position of strength. And when you're in a position for strength, the most important thing is to maintain that strength and keep building. And yes, people might say you're going over the top. It doesn't matter. It's a League Cup game. Tottenham literally, let me show you the Tottenham stats against Coventry just to give you guys some context. We had 1 shot on target against Coventry up until around the, around the 75th minute. We had less shots than Coventry, less shots on target than Coventry, and the same amount of corners. So, yes, you might say I'm giving too much praise to Arsenal. Look at these stats from my team. Imagine conceding more shots from Coventry, more shots on target. Possession is absolutely everything, but that score is obviously the main metric, and we got the right result, and Brennan Johnson bowed us out. But, we're really going to see if Arsenal... I personally have been very critical on Arteta in terms of I think he has to win silverware this season. However, I don't buy into the nonsense that Arteta should leave, etc., etc. When you look at he's been in back-to-back title races, when you look at the fact that he is, as of right now, probably one of the most wanted. If he was to leave Arsenal right now, I think you'd have managers lining up for him. Sorry, if he was to leave Arsenal, yeah. And then obviously when you look at, of course, La Liga, would some of those teams take him up? And so far, he's got past the first round of the League Cup. The draw will be out. I believe it's out later tonight. So we're going to see who will get who. But as of right now, I think it's a professional performance from Arsenal. I think they need to carry on with this. Liverpool full time is 5-1, an absolutely monumental performance. Cody Gakpo off the bench gets a brace. And look, I'll be honest. Arsenal right now going in the right direction. They've got to keep this going. We're really going to see in that period of games, I'll show you what they're made of, because they'll have the next round of the League Cup, the Champions League, the Premier League, 4 away games in 5 games. You'd imagine Odegaard would be back for that. So they're going to have their captain, their creative source back. You imagine that there'll be a lot of rotation. And when you've got players like Nwaneri coming into the team, I know it's only Bolton. It'll be a massive confidence boost for the young lad. 17 years of age, home debut at the Emirates, and bags a brace. It's a professional performance from him. And, you know, I've been critical of Ange of, like I said, not giving Mikey more game time. He's only featured in around, I think, 15, 20 Premier League minutes so far. It'd be interesting to see if he plays tomorrow night against Karabag, Tottenham's first Europa League home game. But Sanif and Nwaneri masterclass. I don't really, other than a hat trick, surely he would have got man of the match tonight. 2 good goals. I thought at one point he would get his hat trick. Let me know your thoughts down below. Make sure you drop a like. Make sure you have subscribed. The road to 25k is well and truly on. And I'll be honest, it's a good performance. Like I said, momentum is one of the most important things in football. We've seen it with Spurs, for instance. Two games. I mean, I've criticised Ange for a lot of things, but a lot of people are Ange out. You win a couple of games, it can all change. Let me know your thoughts down below. Make sure you drop a like. Make sure you have subscribed. And I'll see you all soon. Thank you for watching. I am